Hey guys, welcome back to No Catch Name. It's me, Ella. Today is Monday, the 28th, I think, of October. So I want to hop on here and do a recap of my market from Saturday. Okay, it's really short, and the market got rained out, but I still look at it as a positive, in like a positive light, because it was a lot of fun the little bit of time we were there, and me and Devin always try to make the best out of every situation we're in. And so we were laughing and joking the whole time, even when we were getting rained on, trying to put everything in a truck. But we still had fun, you know, we're just hanging out together. So we had a lot of fun. We got to meet some cool people and did make some sales in between the rain storms. And what's funny is I've been watching the weather all week up until the night before the market, and there was no rain at all until that night. It popped up and said like it might rain in the morning, you know. And then on the way to my sister's and on the way to where the market's at, it kept changing. And then at the market, it kept changing. But still, I made a little bit of money, and we're going to go through it. I do want to talk about profits real quick. Every time I make a market video, someone asks me about how I figure my profit with my cost of materials and things. And I've tried to explain it in the past, but I guess I haven't explained it well. So I'm going to try to explain it a little bit better now. So No Catchy Name is the name of my business. It's registered with the IRS. I have a tax ID and all that stuff. So my business is No Catchy Name. That consists of my Etsy shop, my YouTube channel, my markets, you know, doing my square payment things and all that. And any other way I make money. Sometimes it's through PayPal or just cash, you know, selling things to people. All of that is part of No Catchy Name. So every month I have income and expenses, and with my income that I get through any of those sources I just talked about is when I buy my supplies. So I buy my yarn, my stuffing, my stuff that I use at markets, my electronics that I need, the computer that I have, my sewing machines, all that kind of stuff. Anything that's for No Catchy Name in any way, shape, or form. I purchase with the income I make through No Catchy Name. And then that month that I purchased it in, so like if, say I bought my sewing machine in January, that cost of that sewing machine comes out of my income for January, my profits. So this sewing machine is already paid for with No Catchy Name money, so I don't need to deduct it further from that. It's like yarn. I bought, let's just say I bought some Big Twist plush yarn in September. That money that I spent on that yarn came out of my September profits, whether it be my YouTube money, my Etsy money, whatever, because it all clumps together, you know. So that yarn's already paid for. So if I use that yarn to make something and sell it in December, I won't be deducting the cost of that yarn out of my profits in December because I already deducted it in September. I hope I'm explaining that better, because I keep explaining it and people keep asking me the same question. So I don't know if they're just not listening to the whole video or if they don't understand what I'm talking about. But I deduct anything I buy for my business the month that I buy it. So it is already paid for going on. I don't have to make back all my money for the yarn that I used at a market, because I already paid for the yarn out of No Catchy Name money. You know, I already worked for that money and already spent it, you know. So that's why I don't ever talk about material costs, is because my material cost is covered by the whole No Catchy Name thing. So it's not just, I don't have to make my material back out of my market, because I make it back out of my Etsy and my YouTube, and my market's all clumped together. I hope that makes sense. I keep explaining it and I keep having to re-explain it, but I hope that that is right. I don't know if I'm explaining it right. But anyways, so every month I keep track of everything, you know, for tax reasons, and also for future, like when we were trying to buy a house, I needed all that information. So I keep track of all of it, so that other people, if I ever go to get a house loan, can figure out my income and stuff. So I keep track of every bit of income I make, every bit of expense I make, including all the fees and booth fees and square fees and shipping fees. All that kind of stuff is kept track of. So and I take all my income minus all my expenses, and that equals my profit. What's left is profit after that. But yeah, anyways, on to the show. So it was Saturday. It was a 5-hour market. It was supposed to be from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It was a fall festival at a really big church They had bounce houses, food trucks. They were doing a cakewalk, but it wasn't an illegal cakewalk. You didn't have to pay to participate, which would have made it illegal. It was free. You just did the walking, and whoever landed on the right number got a cake or a cupcake or a pie. They had all kinds of stuff. And they had vendors. There was the coordinator said in the past that they normally have 40 plus vendors, and this year only 17 people signed up. And when we were there, some of the people who signed up didn't show up. So I was like, hey, you know, because when there's less vendors, there's only so many people to shop from. And I had mentioned in one of my previous videos that there are 5 crochet vendors, including me, so 4 other ones. But out of the other ones, 1 didn't show up. 1 was an older lady with blankets, just like knit and crochet blankets. 1 was the event coordinator's daughter, and she had hard rock candy and hats and like ear warmers. And then the other lady was mostly sewing things, and then she had like 1 rack of crochet blankets. So I was the only one that was plushies, which would have been a really good thing had it not rained. But when we first got there and we set up, I was checking the weather and a rainstorm was coming. So me and Devin decided to go ahead and tear back down because I didn't want, you know, if my plushies get wet, they potentially get ruined. I could save some of them, but some of them can't be saved, you know. So we packed back all my plushies, brought all the stuff to the middle of the tent, and lowered the tent down. And then we just sat under the lowered tent, and it rained for about an hour. So then we, after it cleared up, we put our tent back up, put our display back out, and we were out for about another hour, hour and a half, and it started raining again. So we had to tear it back down, and this time it was really big, like wind was blowing rain, and everybody was running around and doing stuff. And by that time, everybody was starting to pack up to leave because there was more rain coming. So we decided to go ahead and pack up too, and it was downpouring, so we got soaked, but the plushies were all safe. That was the first thing we loaded into the truck, and then everything else after that. Yeah, so in between the putting up and tearing down and putting up and tearing down again, I did make 10 sales, which I was happy with. And my goal for the day, because I knew it was going to be a much smaller market than the last 2 I've done. The last 2 markets I've done were big events that I knew was going to have a lot of foot traffic. This was a church fall festival, so I was going into it thinking I'm not going to make much money at all. So I told Devin my goal was $60, which was $40 to recoup my booth fee, and then $20 for gas. Because we just like the experience of hanging out together and doing markets and stuff. Anything after that would have just been extra. So I sold 10 things, and my total sales was $99. And my square fees, because I only did 1 square sale, was $1.32. And the reason that was so high for 1 square sale is because I accidentally charged one of the orders, you know, because I keep track of my cash orders on my square too. My wallet was too close to the square, so when I was typing it in, it charged it to my card, so I had to refund myself $18, but it still charged a fee, which sucks. But it was my own fault, because I know for future times not to have my wallet anywhere near my square, because the tap pay, you know, will automatically scan or whatever. But that was just funny. But I'm gonna get my refund, or I got it back on my square, you know, it refunded it back, but I'm waiting for it in my bank because it takes 2 to 7 days to come back. But anyways, that's why the square fee was so high for just 1 square sale. So I'm happy with what I made, because also the coordinator is refunding everybody half their deposit. So technically my fee was only $20 instead of $40 to set up once I get that back. So let's go through the list. This is not in the exact order that I sold them in, although I know the first thing I sold was a pickle, and it was to another vendor. It was like 8 something. It was way before the market even started. She was just walking around, you know, and she bought a pickle from me for $8. And then the next sale, I'm trying to think. I think it was a little girl who bought 2 things. I'm trying to think of what she bought. She had $20, I think it was, and she bought, I'm pretty sure she bought a penguin and a jumping spider. So the penguin was $8. I'm going to hopefully be popping up pictures of these as I say them. And the jumping spider was $5. And then I sold 2 tofu turtles, $10 each, so $20. I sold my last large turtle, I gotta make some more of those, to a lady. She was an older lady. I don't know how old she was, but her daughter's in her 60s. And her daughter lives in a nursing home. She has like a, she wasn't explaining it all the way, you know, obviously, because it's not my business. But she has some kind of like long-term illness. She's been in the nursing home like her whole life, basically. But she likes turtles, so she bought her that turtle, which I thought was cool, that my turtle's going to someone like that. Then I sold an axolotl to a man, and his son bought my last heart buddy, which I thought was cool because I've had those heart buddies forever. And I sold one at my last market, and then I sold one at this one. Then I sold a chick with a frog hat to a vendor's kid. And the last thing I sold, the tent was down, the rain was lapping, and this little boy who kept coming to my table and looking at stuff and wanting stuff, came running with his mom. I mean, our tent was down to the lowest setting, you know, so you're under your tent, hunched down in your chair. And he came and he asked me if I still had the $3 things, because I had a few. I had like 5 $3 things left over. I didn't get to restock those, mostly because I procrastinated. So I grabbed out one of each of them, which was the cool cats with the sunglasses, the gummy bears, and the little mini stingray. And he had $3 in his hand when he was running in the rain. It was so funny. Me and Devin was laughing at him. And his mom was right behind him. And he picked the stingray. So the last thing I sold that day with the tent down, getting ready to pack up, was a $3 stingray. So altogether, I sold 10 things and made $99 minus $1.32 in fees, minus $20 booth, because I will be getting $20 back. So I'll have to calculate that, but it would have been like 97 something and some change, 97 and some change, minus $20 booth fee, but then plus $20 return of the other booth, the other half of the booth fee. So like my total profit for the day was $97. I think is how it all added up, which I was happy with, because anything over my goal, my booth fee, which is usually my goal, and gas money, I'm happy with. Because a lot of the times markets are hit or miss. For the most part, every market I've ever been to, I've made at least $200. I think up until this one, my least one was like $199, my Christmas market I did last year. But that was my first market in years, and I was grossly unprepared. But most of my little markets are right around 200. One of them, the Easter one I did earlier this year, was like almost 400. That's because it was an Easter event. There was tons of kids there. And then, of course, my 4th of July one and the Liberty Square one that I did most recently were big, 1,200 and 1,500. But there were huge events with hundreds and hundreds of foot traffic, you know, people constantly. So you are expected to make more at big things. This was a church fall festival on a Saturday, and it just rained. So I feel like for it being a rainy, wet day, we were only there for like 3 hours total, making $97. I was happy with that. After we left the market, we went to Subway and got some sandwiches, and then we went and picked up the kids and went home. And we didn't do anything the rest of the day. we had planned some Halloween stuff later that day, trunk or treats and things, but we just decided to stay home. So we stayed home watching movies and hanging out, and it was a good day. I don't know, I was happy. It's kind of a bummer. I probably would have made more money had it not rained, but I'm okay with the way it went. I'm not like disappointed or anything. But at the end of the day, I made a little bit of profit. It would have been really bummer if I hadn't have sold anything and it got rained on and had to go home, you know, negative booth fee. But because I made enough to recoup my booth fee and gas money, and then I'm getting a $20 refund on the other half of my booth fee, I'm happy. That helps. This helps me, you know, roll over to go on to my next market, which my next market is an indoor one. My last 2 this year are indoor ones, which is good. It's November 16th, so it's roughly 3 weeks away, a little under 3 weeks. And it's a Christmas market, and then the next one's in December, which is also a Christmas market. So I'm going to be making more Grinches, and maybe a couple of snowmen or something, but mostly just regular amigurumis. Speaking of that, the Grinch, my big jumbo Grinch, he's in the closet already, got a lot of attention at this market. And one woman was going to come back and buy them. She said that, you know, people say that sometimes. But then that rainstorm hit, so, and she was a vendor, so we were all trying to get our stuff, you know, packed away safely. But multiple people were super interested in him, so I think at the Christmas markets, he's definitely going to sell. And I got enough yarn to make 2 more of the jumbo Grinches, and then I've been hoarding up green yarns to make some of these smaller size Grinches. This is my own pattern that I designed, by the way. This I made with the wrong hook and yarn combo. This is my prototype. See how holy he is? So he's mine. I won't be selling that one, but all I gotta do is go down a hook size or 2, and that'll be fine. This is Premier Just Chanel yarn, yeah. But and it's kind of a smaller of the Chanel yarns. So yeah, anyways, I'm gonna be making Grinches, and I'm gonna be making just regular things, and getting ready for my next market, which is in November 16th. It's a Saturday, and it's at a school, so I'm hoping there's gonna be lots of kids there and not a lot of competition. But yeah, I'm excited about that next one. I think it'll go better because it's indoors, so like the worst thing that can happen indoors is potential fire hazard, you know, or a storm and electricity going out. But you know, if it's raining, it's fine because it's at a school and it's a fundraiser for the school's kindness program, which I'm not sure what that is, but it should in theory bring a lot of people because it's a fundraiser for a school. So yeah, and I already paid its booth fee, and I already paid the booth fee for my December market, so those will come out of my October profits like I was talking about earlier. So when I talk about them, because I paid for this one also in October, so I deducted it. When I talk about those markets in the future Ella, I won't be deducting the booth fee because I'm already going to be deducting it out of October's expenses. So that's something that people might ask me in November, December, why didn't you deduct your booth fee? And it's because I already paid my booth fee and deducted it from my profits in October, which will be past Ella at the time. But anyways, if you have any questions or comments, let me know and I'll try to help you. I also wanted to hop on here real quick and just show you I got some bags made. I finished the autumn bags. It's been sitting in here forever. They're covered in threads. I haven't lint rolled them or anything. This is like a medium-sized project bag. It's got a little square bottom. It's a zipper. So that one's going to be in the shop. And then I made another of this size. I'll have the measurements and all that on the listings. And then I have 6 notion pouches. 3 of them is this cute scarecrow print. So it's got scarecrows and like apples, and there's corn over here too. Just a cute fall print. And then there's 3 of this print with the pumpkins and the cornucopias. Almost had gourd. It's cornucopia. And the writing that it's not on that side, but it's on the side. It just says harvest time. Harvest time, harvest time. But those will be in the shop if you're interested. Check them out. And then the next bags, actually I already got it pulled out over here on my Christmas fabrics. And I would say winter fabrics, but I only have like 2 prints that are winter, so I do need to get some more just winter themed fabric. And I'll be making Christmas bags. So those are, I'm probably gonna do 2 more Etsy updates the rest of this year, maybe 3, but probably 2. And they'll be Christmas / winter prints. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here. Like I said, if you have any questions or comments or anything, let me know down below, and I'll try to help if I can. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye guys.